Hey boys and girls, today we are going to be learning something new in math. We are going to be comparing numbers. When we compare numbers, we're looking at which number is greater and which number is least. We compare numbers by using their place value, their tens and their ones. Okay, so we're going to talk about some symbols that represent greater than, less than, and numbers that are equal. So let's look at some of our symbols. Our first symbol that we're going to talk about is less than. We use the less than symbol when it points toward the number that is the least, the smallest. The greater than symbol opens up and tries to eat the biggest number or the greatest number. And then, of course, you're very familiar with the equal sign. Equal means that both the numbers are the same. Both place values, the tens are the same and the ones are the same. So we're going to practice using these symbols to help us to compare numbers. Okay? So you can see my first set of numbers is 14 and 17. So when I'm thinking about these numbers, I want to look at their place value. I always want to start at the greatest place value. So in the number 14, what is the greatest place value? The greatest place value is the tens place. So I know that 14, if I think about what does 14 mean, 14 means one group of 10 and 4 ones. So I'm going to compare each place value. So 14 has one group of 10. Now I'm going to go over to my next number and see if it has a 10, if it is greater, or if it is least, if it is smaller or less. So I'm going over and looking at the tens place in number 17. Looks like 17 has one group of 10. So can I tell which one's greater or which one's least by looking at the tens place in 14 or 17? No, they're both the same. Now, these numbers are not equal yet. We have to go to the ones place. So I'm going to look at the ones place. So when I'm looking at 14, I know that there is a 4 in the ones place. Going to my next number. 17 has a 7 in the ones place. Now, are they the same or are they different? They're different. So when I'm looking at these two numbers, I need to move to the ones place to be able to compare them. So I'm going to think, is 4 less than or greater than 7? 4 is less than. So when I use my symbol, I want to use my less than symbol. So when I make my symbol, I want to make sure that my alligator or my less than symbol is pointing toward eating the 7. Do you see how the point is pointing toward the less? And the open alligator is what I like to call it, is going to try to eat. He's super hungry. He wants to eat the largest number, the greatest number. Okay, let's look at the next one. 36 and 24. The first thing I'm going to do is look at the number in the tens place. Okay, so 36, what number's in the tens place? 3. So I have 3 groups of 10 in 36. Let's go to my next number. 24. What number is in the tens place? 2. 24 has 2 groups of 10. Now I'm going to stop and I'm going to see if I can compare just using the tens. So I have 3 groups of 10 in 36 and I have 2 groups of 10 in 24. Can I compare them already or are these the same? Of course, I can compare them. So which one is greater? 3 groups of 10 or 2 groups of 10? 3 groups of 10 is greater. So in this inequality, I want to use my greater than symbol. I want to open that up toward the biggest number, which is 36, the greatest number. That alligator, he wants to eat 36, 3 groups of 10, more than he wants to eat 2 groups of 10. Notice that I didn't even have to move to my ones place. I didn't even have to, because if my tens, if I can compare just from the tens place, there's no reason to go to the ones place, because 10 and 3 groups of 10 and 2 groups of 10, I can just use that. Let's look at my next number, or my next inequality. 20, 20. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is look at the number in the tens place. What number is in the tens place in 20? 2. So 20 has 2 groups of 10. Now I'm going to move to my next number that I'm comparing. It is also 20. So I'm going to, what number is in the tens place in 20? 2. So I'm going to put a box around 2. Okay. So this 20 has 2 groups of 10. This number has 2 groups of 10. Looks like they're both the same. They're both the same. 2 groups of 10, 2 groups of 10. Am I done? No, remember up here, when we had the tens the same, we then had to move to the ones. Don't forget, you have to look at your ones. So I'm going to look at my number in the ones place. In 20, what number is in the ones place? 0. Correct, I have 0 ones. I don't have any ones. So let's go to our next number. What number is in the ones place in 20? That's right, 0. So I'm going to look at my ones place. So 0, 0. So I'm just going to go back through and make sure. 2 groups of 10, 2 groups of 10. The same. 0 ones, 0 ones. Well, these numbers are the same. They are the same. 2 groups of 10 and 0 ones, 2 groups of 10, 0 ones. When 2 numbers have the same tens and ones, they are what we call equal. So we will use the equal sign to represent this inequality, because 2 groups of 10 and 0 ones is the same as 2 groups of 10 and 0 ones. They're equal to each other. Moving on. 53, 52. Okay, tell me what the first thing we're going to do is. That's right, we are going to look at the number in the tens place. So what number is in the tens place in 53? 5. So I have 5 groups of 10. Going to my other number, what are we going to do? Look at the number in the tens place, which is 5. 5 groups of 10 in 52. Notice that 5 groups of 10, 5 groups of 10. They're the same. Can I compare these when the tens are the same? No. Now, I don't want to say that they're equal already. I need to go to my ones place just to make sure. So I'm going to look at the ones place. So in 53, 3 is in the ones place. I have 3 ones. And in 52, I have 2 ones. 5 groups of 10, 5 groups of 10. Same. 3 ones, 2 ones. Can we compare now? Yes. Which number is greater? 3. 3 is greater than 2. So I know that 53 is the greatest number. So when I'm using my symbol to represent, which symbol am I going to use? Am I going to use 53 is less than 52? Am I going to use 53 is greater than 52? Or am I going to use 53 is equal to 52? That's right, I'm going to use my greater than symbol because my alligator wants to eat the greatest number, which is 53. Okay? We have successfully compared these numbers, but now we need to go back and think about what do these inequalities mean. So when I read this, how do I say this? I don't say 14, alligator mouth, 17. That doesn't make any sense in math. So what I will need to do is, because I'm using these symbols to represent meaning. So what do these symbols that I've used mean? This inequality means 14 is less than 17. 36 is greater than 24. 20 is equal to 20. 53 is greater than 52. Okay? Now I want you to try doing some on your own. Good luck.